Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of TravelProfessionalNews.com and HomeBasedTravelAgent.com and FindAHostTravelAgency.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and I really do appreciate your taking the time to be with us and join us today. We have an amazing host, which I know some of you are probably on here have had the pleasure of listening to this young lady before. She is a dynamo, and this is Travel Planners International, and we have our straightforward and energetic force in the industry speaker with us, Jenn Lee. She is Travel Planners International's Vice President of Sales and Marketing. She isn't shy about her obsession with guiding travel advisors and desiring to build on their empires, no matter the size. So, with a focus on motivating others to liberate their businesses, I love that, liberate their businesses, and depart from what they know to be true and real, Jen's advice is always, without question, spot on and relevant. And when she's not working really hard, which I don't know when the heck that is because she's always working, you'll find her cheering on and I say this wrong, so I'm not going to say it. What is it, Jen? Alabama.
Bama,
I
roll
want to say
tide.
Bama.
Yes.
Bama football. She got mad at me last time. Playing with her grandchild Eliza and enjoying life with friends and a glass of Pinot Grigio or more.
Of
So
course.
today's webinar is what role should I be playing in my business? And I actually had to think about this one a little bit, thinking about my role because my role has changed a lot in this last couple of years. Now, two
Mhm.
very lucky attendees are going to win 30-minute consultations with Jenn, so be sure and listen carefully for your chance to win. And please remember that you're all going to be muted during this presentation, but we do welcome your questions at any time. You can just type those over in on the right-hand side of your screen where you see that question panel, and then we'll get to those when the presentation is over, and we'll get to as many questions as we can. So I'm going to turn the mic over to my buddy Jenn so she can get started. Welcome, Jenn.
Thank thank you, Joni, and hey, rock stars. Hope y'all are doing well out there. It cracks me up that one, the Bama thing, but two, you keep calling me a young lady. I'm old. I'm getting up there in age. But you guys, I'm really excited about this particular topic because it touches on something that I discovered many years ago when I joined the industry, about 5 years ago. And just recently, I asked some of our TPI advisors some of these same questions that we're going to walk you through. And it was quite liberating. And so that's why it's really good we have this mantra. It was quite liberating, the answers and the thoughts and kind of the conversations that our advisors are having with themselves and with their business partners. So it comes across as, what role should I be playing in my business? And actually, let me just go to the next slide. Stand by. Here we go. It does stick with our depart from what you know to be true and real mantra that we've had all this year, which we started a little over a year ago when it came to, your businesses are changing. They changed drastically without your permission, back when that thing was happening last March, and still somewhat going on. And it continues to change. And so what we're finding is a lot of the really super successful travel agency owners have departed from what they knew to be true and real and really started poking holes in their assumptions about their business, their assumptions about their role in their business, which is what we're going to talk about. At the end of this webinar, Joni, what I'm hoping all of the listeners gain from this is that they walk away with one or two ideas of what they should be changing immediately within their business, or at least an idea of the questions that they didn't have answers for that they should have answers for. And then maybe this time next year, we can have a follow-up webinar, which is, how are you playing in your business at this point? So
That's
I'm
a
pretty
great idea.
excited.
I like that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we should start doing follow-up ones.
Yeah, we should.
Now,
We'll have to look at what we've done. That's a good idea.
yeah, yeah. And then, hey guys, all of you that are listening, I'm all about an interactive. This is weird for me to be sitting behind a computer, not seeing faces. Joni is the one that gets to see everybody's comments. So if I say type in your comments, please do so. And then Joni, you'll tell me, right?
You bet.
All right, so we're going to start with a quote that I know many of you have probably seen at least the first portion of, but I wanted to read the whole quote to you, and this is by, business mastermind Stephen Covey. And his quote goes, "To begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. It means to know where you're going so that you better understand where you are now, and so that the steps you take are always in the right direction," right? So ideally, what happens is when you go to launch a business, or even if you just start your week, we tend to, and tell me if you do this, Joni, I have like a to-do list. Here's all the things that I need to get done this week. Do you have one of
Yep.
those
I
lists?
actually was just updating it before you and I got on this call, if you can believe that.
Yeah, I can believe that. And a good portion of that is probably, if your list is like mine, very reactive. It's
Yep.
based on what other people need, right?
Exactly.
Um, and then there's probably a portion of it, because you guys do such a great job with all types of content for advisors. There's probably a portion of it is going, hey, in order for us to fill our magazine for August, these are the 15 things that we need, right? But you know that the end in mind is you want a magazine, an online publication in August that's going to convey a particular topic, right? Like you
Mhm.
probably have some sort of calendar, right?
Exactly.
All right. But and most of our advisors begin with the end in mind, that they want to make money, or they want to build a business, or they want to serve a community. They have like an end in mind that's very generic. And I just want everyone to type in right now, when you started your business, did you have a very clear idea of what it was that you wanted? And you can just type in yes, no, maybe, yes, but I forgot it.
I'll
You
let
know,
you know how
most,
the stats go on this in a minute, okay? While they're
yeah.
typing.
And nobody be shy. You've
Yeah,
got to
don't be
type it
shy.
in.
They're not being shy, just so you know, at all.
They usually aren't on your webinars. They
I know,
usually
it's
aren't.
awesome.
But that's
Majority
what I
majority is yes
find.
so far, and a few no's, but majority is yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. So let's take this a little bit further. I'm going to break this quote down, and this is what's going to guide us today. So I'm going to start with the phrase that goes through my head all the time: to begin with the end in mind. And this is really the only way for you to be able to think about your future. Because to think about your future is you have to begin with the end in mind and work yourself backwards, right? So let's go back to when you first started your business. What's your plan? What was your plan then? And I'm going to take you through a series of questions that I want you to answer, okay? So the first question is, was your plan to build a business that you could sell? No change in your current structure. You just wanted to build a business and one day turn around and sell it. Is your plan to build a business that you can pass down to maybe a family member? Is your plan to build an empire internally and grow internally? You just want this massive agency. You're super excited about adding associates. You just want to build this big empire with specialists. Is that your plan? Is your plan maybe to acquire other travel agencies? Do you want to build that empire by buying other baby agencies? Maybe you have a brick and mortar and you want to buy other brick and mortar agencies. Maybe you don't have a brick and mortar and you want one, and the way to get there is by acquiring another agency. Is that in your plan? Or is your plan to just make more money? Heck, not a bad plan, right? We all want money, money, money. We're in business to make money. Is that your plan? Or do you just not have a strategy at all? And as you guys are typing in what your plan is, and don't be embarrassed if it's no plan, I'm going to share with you why I'm asking you these questions and what kind of motivated me with this. When I joined the industry about 5 years ago, I started asking these questions to some of the more seasoned travel agency owners and advisors that were with TPI. And these are some seriously smart, really successful businesses. And they didn't have an answer to that question. What's your plan? They didn't have an answer. And so it got me thinking. And just a few weeks ago, we did an event called Building Your Legacy for our top agencies. And really, with the end, it was a 3-day event. With the end of the 3 days, the goal being them being able to answer the question, where's my business going in the next 3 to 5 years? And we started with these questions, and many did not know the answer. And so I thought, well, gosh, I need to get this message out. We need to know what the plan is. So, Joni, share with me what some people are actually typing in. What's
Okay,
their plan?
got it. So we have some answers here. Several of them are to make more money. So that
Mhm.
is, I'm not going to
That's a
name
plan.
each person.
Yeah.
Another is to make money and travel, which is obviously makes sense. Somebody's an honest person says no strategy. That's very
Hmm.
honest. I like that. Um,
Yep.
build to sell. Okay.
Mhm. Good.
Originally just to have flexibility working from home, what makes total
Mhm.
sense. Uh,
Yep.
build an empire, internally grow. Like that one. I like empire. That's a good word.
Yep.
Another person build the empire. Uh,
Mhm.
and those are pretty much the majority of them. To create a community of sustainable travelers. That's a nice one. Like that.
Yep. Yep.
Overall, to mix my mission travel with traveling. My mission to
Mhm.
travel. I'm sorry, traveling. Then another
Mhm.
person to sell. So they're kind of across the board. A lot of many of the different ones that you have not acquire agencies. Haven't seen that one yet though.
Yeah, and gosh, guys, let's talk about that for just a second while we're here, because that's a big opportunity. That's a really big opportunity. And the reason I want to talk about this right now is you have to set yourself up for success. And if you begin with the end in mind, you should have an answer. You should be able to say one of these is your plan. And making more money is a plan. That is a plan. But acquiring other agencies, I want you to think about something. There are, and Joni, you've been in the industry way longer than me, right? So there is a generation of agency owners and advisors that are getting up in the age bracket, would you say? As I like to say very crassly, they're gonna die. Okay, so we're all gonna die at some point, but these people are closer to death and dying and retiring than others, right?
Hmm.
What
I
is
would
going
probably
to
be one of
happen?
those.
Me too. Listen, I'm almost 56. I get it. But and people chuckle when I say it, but I'm like, it's the truth. And here's the thing, I've never met a retired travel agent. Not once have I met a retired travel agent. So that's one of two reasons. One, nobody retires in this industry because why would you? Because it's so fantastic, right? Or number two, they haven't put together a plan to retire, right? And so they can't.
Yeah.
Or number three, they're just not ready to retire. And the acquire other agencies to me is the biggest opportunity for people who are at least 10, 15, probably 20 years away from retiring. There are people out there who really are looking for others to actually take their clients and take good care of them when they decide to retire or move on or are no longer able to do this. If I were a travel agency owner, this is exactly what I would be doing. So have a plan. And then you can marry up with them. But we'll dive into that a little bit more. But that's the opportunity, guys. That's where the next generation of travel advisors and agency owners live, because otherwise we're going to drop all these consumers. Someone's going to decide not to be in business any longer, and they've had their business for 40 years. Can you imagine, Joni? And
Exactly.
all these consumers, they started when they were dating. They booked them on their vacation. They went to Myrtle Beach and then they got married. So they booked them on their honeymoon, and then they did the baby moon, and then they did the first family vacation. And then the kids were graduating and stuff, and then on and on. And then the kids go to college, and then they're getting married and they're having a baby moon and a honeymoon and so on. They've been taking care of these families for all these years. And what are you going to do? Just say, yeah, I'm retired. Good luck.
Exactly. These are lifetime clients, and you need to. I think we need to agency to think about just being honest with the client and helping them to if they
Hmm.
aren't gonna handle it further. Have a plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's
Yeah.
it's a financial benefit to have that plan. You know,
Absolutely.
you can make
Absolutely.
money that way. You can make money in your
Exactly.
retirement.
Absolutely. So let's take it to the next step. We're going to do a little self-assessment, everybody. Y'all ready? Okay. I don't see anybody dropping off yet, so you're all brave souls. Very proud of all of you. All right, self-assessment. Answer these questions, and I'm going to go slow. When you started your agency, what did you envision? Did you envision that you would just be by yourself the whole time? Did you envision kind of the other things on the plan? Did you just envision making enough to pay for college for your kids? Did you envision you just wanted to sell travel so that you could travel yourself? I will tell you that if you're listening to this webinar, chances are you have a business mindset, otherwise you wouldn't have tuned in. But what
Okay,
did
I
you
got some
envision when you
answers
first
if you're
started?
ready.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
That I would start off by myself and travel more. Um,
Mhm.
that's job that makes sense. A store for an agency with multiple agents, growing more staff, more profitable, and more travel. Um, I just saw myself, but I've grown to. I'm trying to read these through. I've grown to over 30 ICs. Start a
Congratulations.
business, okay, and work toward expansion. Love of travel. commercial travel agency. There's a ton of different ones. It's crazy.
Awesome.
Have a large team,
So
be able to pass it on. Envisioned incorporating my missionary travel with traveling and working with ICs. A lot of them have envisioned a good plan.
they had an envision, then you don't need to answer this question. And how close are you to it now? And do you know if you're making the right steps towards it? Most business owners, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, had a vision. They have a vision when they start, right? And it could change. Of course, it could totally change,
Yeah.
but they had a vision of some sort. Otherwise, they wouldn't have started a business. No crazy cat would be doing this just for the heck of it. You do it because you've got an idea in mind. So I'm going to ask you some additional questions, which will help you self-identify what role you should play in your business. It's all going to come together here in a second. The next is answer this question. How much of a control freak are you?
Oh
Are you,
dear.
is it my way or the highway? Or is it, hey, I'll just go with what anybody else says? Is it like somewhere in between?
I don't mean to
How
laugh,
much of
but I'm watching these replies, Jen, and I so relate to some of these replies. It's a process. I keep working on it. I keep working on it. Okay. Oh, this is
it is
great.
a process.
It is. It
Exactly.
is. All
Well, it's
right.
important to know how much of a control freak you are because this plays a role in your
It
role.
totally is. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to read these to you. 75%. Oh, good for you. That's not too bad.
Mm,
100%, which is bad. I'm with you,
yeah.
Lena. I'm in the middle. Good, Denise. I am a control freak to a point, but it can be flexible. Tara, that's good. Somewhere in
Mhm,
between, Jim is. Get it done
mhm.
professionally. 50 to 60%. Wow, that's really good. Somewhere in
Yeah.
between, however, I make the final decision. Aha. Okay. That's a good answer.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's someone who's willing to listen to other ideas. That's
Exactly.
good. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
good.
It's really good.
So I had at this Building Your Legacy event, I asked this question to everybody, and the one of the advisors raised her hand, and she said, "I don't think I'm that much of a control freak, but I need a little more clarity on the controlling portion to it." And I said, "Oh, that means you're not a control freak? Like you just took over the question?" So yeah, I'd say you're a control freak. Um, so number three, how tied is your personal brand to your company? Okay,
Okay.
is your personal brand Jim's Travels? And everybody knows it's Jim's Travels, and you call Jim. You don't call Akron, Ohio Travels. I don't know where I came up with Akron, but is it how tied are you to is your personal brand to your company? And I'm going to go to the next one. What do you love doing every day? And I do want to hear those answers. What do
Okay.
you love doing every single day in your business? What do you love doing every single day in your business?
All right. So I'm going to start reading some of these to you. 100% of my brand is me.
Hmm.
90% moderately has my name. Talking and helping people is obviously what they love doing. That's cool. I love helping
Hmm.
people. Okay. So those are two that there's still some coming in, but those are where we are right now.
Good. And I would expect the I love helping people, curating experiences to be what you guys love doing every single day, for sure. And I'll tell you this, how tied is your personal brand to your company? I'll give you an example again at this event. It's husband and wife team, and it's Dee Dee's Travel. And her husband raised the hand and he said, I got to tell you, if something happens to Dee Dee, that is the entire company. She is the brand, she is the company. She is everything. Like, what would I do? Would they trust the company? And they have, associates, but would they trust the company without Dee Dee? So it's something to be thinking about.
Yeah. He
What
might have
makes
to
you want to,
change his, he may have to change his name.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it could be Dee Dee, but not Dee Dee.
All right. So I'll give you some more
um,
here. Creating
yeah.
itineraries, looking at new travel destinations and sharing them with our clients. My name is not tied in. Making clients'
Mhm.
dreams come true, studying more destinations, connecting with clients, easing travel related fears. 100% my personal brand company. 0% I bought a legacy company. Talking and
Yeah.
helping, curating vacations, helping clients, helping people. That's obviously the number one thing.
Of course. That's the passion and the heart of the travel advisor for sure, is helping others and curiosity. Then answer the question, what makes you want to pull over the covers in the morning? And it cannot be staying on hold with travel partners because that's not always the case, but I know that would. But what about your business? What is it about your daily routine that makes you want to just not get out of bed? What makes you pull over the covers in the morning? It's important to identify what you don't like doing.
Okay. Well, this is good. I love this. Okay. So with all the independent contractors, it's difficult to control everything. Every agent has their own identity, so it's not all about me, but I love helping people. Okay, reworking.
Right.
I'm going to take that. Randy means by rework, he means doing the same work over and over again,
Sure.
which we have done in this last, whatever that happened back in that March time, that we don't we don't like to talk about.
That thing,
Um,
that thing of the day of the
yeah,
day.
and tire kickers. Oh yeah, they're not a lot of fun. They make you want to
Mhm.
crawl under the covers. Nothing. I
Mm.
love what I do. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Uncooperative airlines. Well, hello. Dealing with customer complaints. Yeah, it's never fun, but that's how we learn. Time
Mhm.
management. Individual clients. I love groups. Ooh, interesting. That's cool. That's very cool.
Mhm.
Time
Mhm.
wasting clients who don't value working with a travel advisor. Too much
Mhm.
paperwork. Like this, Jim likes everything about it. Doesn't There's nothing he doesn't want to pull his. He doesn't sleep in. Good for you. All right.
Good for you, Jen.
So this is where we're at. That's where we're at there.
All right. Okay, then the next question is, and those are all good, and they're all going to play a role in something here in just a minute. What role do you want to play in your clients' lives?
Hmm. Okay.
Do you want to play the role of advisor? Do you want to play the role of guide? Do you want to play the role of friend? Do you want to play the role of uh, kind of like boss?
Okay. Here we go. Trusted advisor a number of times. That's come through a lot. Have the
Yeah,
title to be their travel expert. That's great. Um,
excellent.
Guide, trusted partner, teacher, interesting.
Hmm.
Trusted professional travel advisor, really not underestimated. I want to help them
Hmm.
discover new experiences, branch out. Advisor with a personal touch, professional value provider. Ooh, that's interesting. That's cool.
Hmm.
I want to be the first person they think of when it comes to travel. Oh, that's sweet. To get them
Yep.
the best for their money and give them my expertise, advisor and guide when needed, their go-to gal. All right, those are all great.
Awesome, awesome. So most of you want to be that trusted advisor that guides them along the way through their travel experiences. You love curating those experiences. You take it personally, right? This is your company, and it's your personal brand. You're pretty much most of you control freaks, and that's okay. I'm with you. We're all in the same membership together. And you had a solid foundation of what you wanted your agency to be. My last question is, what's stopping you from throwing in the towel? And the reason I'm asking this lastly is this will tell me what your motivation is. So what stops you from throwing in the towel? Because if at any time somebody should have thrown in the towel, it would have been the last 15 months.
Yeah, that was a towel throwing opportunity for sure.
So what's really stopping you from throwing in the towel? Be honest with yourself. What's really stopping you? What stopped you actually? What stopped you?
Okay. Others depend on me. I like that. That's great, Susan. Me, I love travel and experiencing new things too much to throw in the towel. My love and passion to help clients with my expertise. I enjoy this business. Letting my clients down. I didn't want to throw in the towel. Good for them. I enjoy travel too much. It's an addiction. Boy, yes, that ain't the truth. My
Mhm.
love for travel and proving others wrong and proving others wrong. This is truly my calling. I'm waiting for my commissions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Carl. That was good. That was really
But
good.
Carl, you must have something else, some other reason, because otherwise you wouldn't be on this call.
No, I know. That was good though. That was definitely a good one. Operating the
Super good.
agency is a stepping stone to other opportunities. Knowing
Good.
things will turn around worldwide. Yeah, not sure.
Yeah,
I
that's
almost
so
did last month. Actually, giving it one more year to go. Okay, good for you, Sandra. The last 18
good.
months has been challenging, but what else would I do? As my
Mhm.
clients and my employees, they need me. And the other
Yeah,
person says it's just too hard to exit.
yeah. It's too hard to, so let's talk about the it's too hard to exit or I almost gave up. It is hard to exit for a variety of reasons. One, you love what you do, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it for as long as you've done it, right? If you didn't love your clients, if you didn't love what you did, this past 15 months would have we're on the other side of it, guys. We're done with it. Right now we're on the other side. We're rebooking now for the most part, as a general statement. We're on the other side. We're back, guys. We're back. I've said that about a month ago and I'm still saying it. We're back. So you didn't throw in the towel because you really do still love what you do or you care for your clients. And that is why it is so very important that you clearly identify what your ideal role is in your business. And then you do something about the other roles that you should not be part of. And again, if you're listening to this, it's because you have a desire to do the right thing. Otherwise, you wouldn't have clicked on this. You wouldn't have been attracted to what role do I play, unless you just love listening to me, which is possible, right, Joni? It is
Oh,
possible.
totally, absolutely. It could be the 100% reason there.
I doubt it. I doubt
Yeah,
it. But so let's go through there. So now you've written those things down, things that make you go, Let's go through the different roles of a typical travel agency. Actually, the basic roles of how an agency should run. You've got someone who curates travel experiences. Every single person on here, basically based on your answers, you can check that role off as yes, you do that. You're also the CEO and president for most people. I don't know why I'm losing my words all of a sudden. Do you have a chief marketing officer? Is that you? Is that somebody who also does all the marketing for your business? You're the one that writes the Facebook ads, posts the Facebook ads. Do you write the blogs? All those things, Instagram, TikTok, chief marketing officer. You design the flyers, or you pay someone to design them. Are you the chief financial officer of your company? In other words, are you the one that follows a profitability plan, which is a webinar that I've done for Travel Professional News in the past? I think it's called Profitability Plan. I can't remember, but anyway,
if I can find it.
look it up, and if you'll let them know, that's a
Yeah.
great webinar. It still holds true today. Are you the chief financial officer of your organization? Operations manager, that is someone who puts together the processes, follows policies, the person who puts together the workflows, the person who checks on the technology. Are you the operations manager as well? Are you playing the role of customer service when a client isn't happy? Are you the one taking the phone call? Are you the one following up? Are you the one making sure they receive their credit? Do you see where I'm going with all of this? You started out, you curated the travel experience, you're the president of your own company, you have to do all the marketing. For the most part, most of you guys are your own chief financial officer, or you've just ignored the books and you're just building a bank account, which a lot of people do. Operations manager, a lot of people don't have time to figure out workflows and automation. You're the customer service person, you're the sales manager, you're also the person that is out there making new sales, turning more people on to doing business with your travel agency. You're probably the partner relations manager as well. This is the person that works with your local BDMs, your travel partner supplier representatives. You're building relationships with them. You're leveraging those relationships. You're maximizing those relationships, whether it be a travel partner or a host agency or a consortium. Your training and development as well. Did you know you had that role in your business as well? So if you did bring somebody new on, you're the one that's doing all the training and developing that associate advisor, or maybe that employee or that part-time worker. And your human resources for yourself. You have to prop yourself up. You have to pat yourself on the back. You have to talk yourself off the ledge if you're a party of one. If you are an agency with associate advisors, your human resources for your associate advisors. Am I missing any roles, some of the key roles in an agency?
I don't think so.
Now, based on the answers from before, these answers, are you playing the right role in your business? I didn't hear anybody say, I love marketing. I didn't hear anybody say, I hate marketing. I didn't hear anybody say, oh, I can never get my own expense report done. I didn't hear anybody say, I love financials. I didn't hear anybody say, yes, I love recruiting new advisors. I didn't hear anybody say, I hate recruiting new advisors. What everybody talks about is curating those experiences and taking great care of their clients. And honestly, Joni, that's only really one or two of these roles. You are the president, you are curating travel experiences. Most people do some sort of marketing. Operations is basically you're just trying to make sure your CRM is still up and running. You definitely are customer service because you might be a party of one. You certainly aren't passing that off to somebody else. You see what I mean? You can't play all of these roles if when you envisioned your company, you didn't say, I'm looking to build a robust agency. If you did, then you need someone in all these roles. And most of the travel advisors that I've met are awesome in several of these areas. They're passionate about travel. They want to help the world by helping people connect through travel. They're curious by nature and they want to help others kind of scratch that curiosity as well. To run a successful agency, you have to have all of these roles. So I will challenge, and I welcome any comments along the way, but I will challenge that if back in the beginning when we talked about build to sell or make more money, gosh, I really put a lot of animations in here. If your plan was one of these here, you have to have all those roles. Does that make sense?
Totally. There
I
is
might
one
have
you're
just
missing, though.
talked to me.
There's a role you're missing, and it wasn't me that thought of it, but a number of people did, and I thought it would give you a good laugh, and that is cleaning lady or cleaning man.
It's true. You got to empty your own trash cans. It's true. You got to dust off your own desk. Your IT manager. That's one I forgot.
Oh,
You're
you're
also the
right.
IT.
Yeah,
You're also the IT and security person. So the reason I say this, and I don't want to depress anybody because I feel like wah wah. Here's what it is. There is no way you're going to be able to do any of those other things except for just make more money without a plan unless you start beginning with the end in mind and you understand that these are roles within your organization. Now, that doesn't mean you need to hire somebody for each one of these roles. Of course not. It just means, and to answer that original question, what role should I be playing in my business? And if the role that you should be playing is the visionary and the president and helping to curate travel experiences, go for it. And marketing, maybe you're great in these areas, but maybe it's time for you to take a look, and maybe training, right? But maybe it's time for you to take a look at hiring out the other things, because I'm going to be pushing this quite a bit. As you hear Jenn Lee talk, you're always going to hear me talking about hiring human beings, getting a brick and mortar or some sort of physical space that you can go to, because true agencies and true businesses that are in it for the long haul, right, that are building something to sell or building something to pass down, have these positions within them. So let's go. I'm sure it feels like this right now. Like, oh my God, what is she
great
talking
visual.
about? Help me. It's a great visual, right? Like, oh, yeah. Who can relate? So then we're going to get to the steps. So to break down Stephen Covey's quote yet again, it means to know where you're going so that you better understand where you are now so that the steps you take are always in the right direction. So if you go back to the end in mind and maybe you ask yourself, what did I vision for my agency back in the day? It could have been just, gosh, I just wanted to make some extra money. I didn't realize how cool this could be. Or gosh, I just wanted a part-time gig, but I'm almost retiring from my full-time job and I think I want to make this a full-time gig. And please type in there if that was something that went through your mind. So many people enter the industry that way, which I think is fantastic. They start out part-time and then they decide, all right, this is my next career. So often we see people have gotten into this business for one reason and then realize they could really take off. And that's what I want to inspire you to do and what I want to help you do through resources and education. So feel free to type in your thoughts and your notes right now as I go to the next thing, which is going to share with you how you're going to get there. So what are the next steps? The next steps are hire somebody part-time to do the things that you pull your covers over your head for, that you hate doing, or that you're not good at, or that you never get to, or hire somebody full-time. And there's ways for you to do that. I would get with, first thing I would do is I would set myself a budget, Joni. Like just say, okay, I'm going to give myself 45 days. I'm going to hire somebody part-time. Maybe it's just somebody local. Maybe it's a stay-at-home mom that's looking for extra stuff to do. Maybe there's lots of people looking for just part-time work right now. And you just say, I have a 45-day need. And during that 45 days, these are the 5 things I need you to do. And I'm going to pay you $15 an hour to do it. Or I'm going to pay you $750 for the next 6 weeks to finish these 3 items. Maybe it's cleaning out your customer database. Maybe it's designing a really great filing system. Maybe it's writing emails that can go into an email automation. Here at TPI, we have a CRM called TPI Suitcase, which is what's the word I'm looking for? Proprietary CRM. And we've got this automation option, which they could just write email templates and they could say, all right, I just sold a cruise. Here are the 7 emails that need to go out over this period of time. But so many of our advisors are like, I don't have time to write the emails, right? So like maybe you hire someone to do that, Like hire, give yourself a budget. As commissions are starting to come in, now's the time to do it while you have time to train that person. Another thing that you can do is just go to the virtual assistant route. And actually, I'm going to give you a resource that one of our top advisors was sharing with me the other day. It's called Pineapple Staffing. And she has hired somebody for $8 an hour, trained them on 1,000 different things, and they kick butt. And it's called Pineapple Staffing.
I've never heard of that one, but I know Andy uses a few
Yeah.
in our business, and he's had great success. I can't remember the names of them, but he's definitely had some really good. I mean, some yes, some no. I mean, it's hit and miss.
Yep.
It's if you do find a good one, and we've found a couple that have been so good that we've had them for years. I mean, literally
Yeah.
many years. So
Yeah.
it just takes one or two good people to really kind of ease your burden up and help you do what you're really good at and take
Yeah.
away the things you're not so good at, perhaps.
Right, right. Like we didn't hear anybody say, "Oh, I love entering my sales. I love booking engine work. I love actually booking the product." Nobody said that. They like curating the experience, taking care of their clients. You can take the intern route. All colleges and most places across the country have some sort of hospitality management or some sort of business management or social media major or graphic design major or something where they need an internship. Now you do have to pay them, but they're being schooled on something and they're hungry for that opportunity. So take the intern route. Associate advisors, if you want to build a business where you become really the president and CEO and kind of the partner relations role, and you are the sales role for your agency, and you love training and development, you want to help other advisors get into this industry, then start bringing on smartly associate advisors. Start advertising on Indeed or in Facebook or within your community that you're looking to build your agency and you're looking for those who are looking to build a business within your business. Bring on associate advisors, and part of their role could be that they're fantastic at social media, and you say, okay, if you do this amount of social media, then I'll give you an extra 10% of commission or whatever. Just get creative with it. Advisor collaborations. I see some of our advisors doing this within the TPI family. One might be really great with flows and email templates, where another one might be really great with social media. So they trade for one another. One helps one with one and one helps with the other. And then that way they're not like, killing themselves trying to do everything in the role.
That's one of the benefits of a host agency such as yours, Jen, in
Mhm.
that that your advisors do talk about that sort of thing and are able to collaborate, because that's a huge piece of working with
Yeah,
a large or strong and a host agency that communicates. That the
yeah,
agents communicate with the host with each other. That's a huge
yeah.
piece.
It's all community. It's all about community, and y'all aren't alone, And if you do feel alone, then you might not be doing something right, and you're welcome to pick up the phone and call me, and I'll help you with that. But you're not alone out there. Buy an agency, right? Take somebody's agency over that's ready to retire. Maybe they're not ready to fully retire, but come up with a financial game plan. And I have a whole thing about how to. I have actually two forms. Questions to ask yourself if you want to sell your agency, and questions that you should be asking of yourself prior to trying to buy an agency. And if you guys want to email me, I'll give you my email address at the end of this. I'll send you those two.
We should
It's
do a
just a
webinar on that. You should do a webinar on that.
okay. We'll do a webinar on
That
that.
would be
Great.
really
That's my
cool.
next. Hey,
That's your
guess
next
what?
one?
That's
Okay,
on
cool.
my next topic. Write it down.
All right, I'm going to write that down and remind you. Okay.
How to buy and sell an agency.
Yep, I love it.
What to be thinking about. And then finally, technology. Let technology work for you. So often advisors are really scared of technology, or they're not scared of it. They just feel like they don't have the time to master it or how to use it. A good CRM is vital for a travel agency. Itinerary builders. Some of the technology that helps you even schedule phone consultations, Calendly. I know for me that when somebody wants to call me, I haven't had a chance to like download Calendly for someone to click on it to see my calendar to schedule themselves. Like I just need to get to it. So I got to take my own darn advice. But like technology will help you with that. And the key to all of this is really going back to the beginning and asking yourself, what role do I want to play in my business? Way back here, all these roles, what role do I really want to play in my business? Circle those, check those off. And then the ones that you don't want to play or that you're not good at, hire out, collaborate with somebody else, do something else. Because the more you spend on the things that you shouldn't be doing, the less time you're going to have to spend on the things you want to be doing, or to double down on the things that you really want to be doing. You know, how often have we heard during the last 15 months, one of the positives of this time frame is that it's allowed advisors to like learn a new travel partner or a new niche, right? Like maybe people who were all cruises are like, well, I had no choice. I had to learn all inclusives, right? So they learned all inclusives. Well, guess what? Every single year you should be looking at your business to say, what's the next year going to bring? But begin with the end in mind. What role do you want to play? What role are you really best suited to play based on your passion and your experience? And then how can you fill in the rest of these roles with other people so it doesn't seem overwhelming? Any questions?
Not yet, but I do have a comment I want to make about a couple things. I've had this come up a few times. People asking
Mhm.
if there is a replay available. Yes, everybody, we do record all of our webinars, and the webinars are available for you to see. It usually takes about, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours for it to show up and be available, but we have them all available on travelprofessionalnews.com. So you just simply go into the recorded webinars area. For Jenn's webinars, you want to look under the host agency webinars. And earlier we talked, Jenn, about the profitability one, and the name of that one, I don't have the exact date for that one. I'm sorry, because I didn't want to leave this screen to go to click on another one. Didn't want to lose you guys, but it's called, the title to it was Post COVID-19 Profitability Plan. That was
Oh,
the name
yes.
of it. That was your name
Yes.
of it. So all of you, if you want to find that, you simply go back and, to our site that I mentioned before, travelprofessionalnews.com, go into the webinars, to the past webinars, the recorded webinars, scroll to the host agency ones, and you'll see them all listed there. And then you can watch the YouTube videos on all of them. They've all been recorded.
Yeah. And in most of my webinars, this is probably the first webinar where I haven't had like a slide with a bunch of resources, but I did tell you pineapple staffing. I usually always try to have a couple of resources for you, but in most of these webinars that we've done together, there's always a ton of resources for you to be able to download and continue learning.
Well, I want to
But I'm
say the
curious.
resource was you.
Oh,
It
well, thank,
is. I'm sure
well,
everybody on
thank,
this thing agrees with me.
well, thank you. And I'm curious, did this get anybody thinking like, shoot, I had no idea I was doing all those roles, first off. Shoot, you're right. I don't like doing this. Why am I doing it? Or heck yeah, I'm on the right path. And this has validated that. I'd love to hear your feedback, guys. Type in
All
your
right,
feedback
folks,
a
right
little
in.
bit.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Yes, and another person saying, I'm on the right path. Cool.
Good.
I am on the right path, and thank you. Maybe they just have to be reminded they were on the right path. That's helpful.
That is.
Thanks for reinforcing what I thought I needed to do. That's what I mean. It's
Mhm,
like you've kind of, maybe they are doing a lot of these roles, and maybe they have moved some of those things to other people's responsibility, and they now
mhm,
realize, gee, I was doing the right thing. That's cool.
Good.
So yeah, it looks like very positive answers. COVID has helped me rebrand. Yep, it's helped. I hate to say COVID helped anything, but you're right. It has helped us rebrand, relook,
Hmm.
rework our business. We've had to,
Good.
and we learned what we could, afford to do and what we couldn't afford to do, and we learned how to, be more productive. And it's interesting how we all learned a lot of things. We learned how to live with our spouses and in the same house and still be married, perhaps, after all these
Yeah.
years.
You're
Okay.
so funny, perhaps. Yeah, it's
Well, I'm
true.
not going to say that for everybody. Tom and I made it, but we're so old. We don't know any better. Um, but
You
I
have no
needed to
choice.
hear this helpful tips to outsource. Someone says, I'm not on the right path, but I'm still trying to get my business off the ground, unfortunately. Well, you're not on me. Maybe now this has helped you kind of get some ideas on how to kind of change your direction a little bit.
Mhm.
Let's see, that looks like
Yeah,
those are
and
pretty
and I
much the
and
responses.
Awesome. And I don't want anyone to feel like you need to overthink it. What I want you to do is there's I have two desires. One is that I want you to say, okay, you're right. I don't like marketing and I need to find somebody who can do it for me. Or you're right. I do play all these roles. What's a better way to do it? Because when the rubber meets the road, my desire is to change the consumer's perception of the value that a travel advisor brings to one's life, not the value to a travel experience, because you've probably heard me say 1,000 times, I hate that word value. I think it's a throwaway word. But my desire and my goal, and I'm not going to rest until this happens, is that every consumer uses a travel advisor and every travel advisor is profitable. Well, the only way the consumer's perception is going to change is if the travel advisor's perception of themselves and what role they play in the industry and what role they play in someone's life, if they change their perception. Your job is not to curate experiences, even though that is your job. That's not really what building an agency is about. It's about creating a business that gives you a solid foundation for you to be able to serve your customers and your consumers, which all of you or most of you said you love to do. Well, to do that, you have to have a strong, profitable business, and a strong, profitable business has lots of arms to it. And you can't play all those roles for a long period of time effectively. And so I am huge on people hiring people. When I had my own consulting practice, for those that didn't know, I've only been in the business 5 years, and I had a small business consulting practice. So my clients were consumer product developers, they were CPAs, they were website developers, they were lawyers, a lot of service related and a lot of consumer products. And what I found to be true was those that the second they hired somebody, even part-time, and I did it myself, I hired somebody part-time for 30 days, their business almost doubles. They have clarity. All of a sudden they realize what they really like doing in their business. And the better your business, the more consumers will be served. The more consumers served, the more the perception the consumer has of the value of what a travel advisor brings to their life. And so we can't rest until you all get that message in your own way and build your business in that way. And it's our job here at my company and at companies like myself and ASTA and CLIA and Travel Professional News and everybody else out there to give you those resources and the motivation so you can build that rock solid foundation. I feel like I got on my soapbox. Sorry, guys. I get
No,
really
no, we love it.
passionate
We
about
love
you
it.
guys.
Someone did mention, which I'm going to share this, says that this person says that I've experienced that the more people that I have working for me, the more money I make,
Hmm.
which is a good point. Right? Well done, Danuela. So I do want to throw out something, if it's okay, Jen. I didn't ask you this
Sure.
ahead of time, so maybe if it's inappropriate, tell me. But I don't really care because this is my webinar here, so I'm going to say
Sure,
what I
you do
want.
what you want to do,
So
boo.
if I understand it correctly, you are running for a position on ASTA's board. Is that correct?
I am. Oh, yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
am.
So,
I have
folks,
waited.
if you are a member of ASTA and you enjoy all that Jen is giving to us in these webinars and all of her knowledge, and she's just amazing, then remember that and vote for her. Okay, that is and I'm not a very political person, as Jen knows, but I want her to have a major role someplace where she can really make a big difference there, and I think she can. So I'm on
Oh,
my soapbox. I'm off the box.
oh my God, you made me cry. I have false eyelashes on. They could fall off. Thank you, Joni. That's
That
very
is a problem
sweet.
with those. I have them too.
It
So,
is. It is.
but
It
here you
is.
go.
I'm
So I
very
don't know, Jen, if you can tell people how they do that, and then we'll go to the questions. Okay.
sure. Yeah, we've got two great questions. Yeah, if you're an ASTA member, you've probably already received an email directly from ASTA. You've also probably received 4,000 emails from the 13 people that are running for the 5 positions on the board. I sent one email. I refuse to send any more than that because I too am getting agitated with all these emails coming through. But voting, I think, started, what is today, Thursday? Voting started, yes, it actually started Tuesday, but they had a little snafu. So voting started yesterday, and I think you have like a week and a half to vote. So if you are an ASTA member, yeah, it would mean the world to me to be given that opportunity to help ASTA go to that very next level. They're doing a fantastic job. Number one. Number two, if you're not an ASTA member, you need to become an ASTA member because there are so many so much that ASTA does for our industry, the promoting and the protection of the travel advisor community, that you should be part of the industry association that you're so passionate about. And there's a lot of benefits to it as well, but more importantly, you should be part of the ASTA community. It's an incredible organization. So anyways, thank you, Joni. That was
I
very
mean
kind
it.
of
So,
you.
and just I'll throw this out, then we're going to go to your questions, okay? So the
Mhm.
20th is the last day to vote. That's what
Okay.
somebody shared. So thank you for sharing that. And a bunch of people have written in how they've already voted for you. So there you go. All
Oh,
right.
thank
So
you guys.
here we
Aw,
go.
thanks.
Question number,
Woo!
this is for our prizes, okay? Are we ready
Yeah,
for that? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
The first question, I'm going to give the question, folks, and if you were listening carefully, you want to type that in the same place you put in your other comments you've been putting in. And I'm going to take the 7th, this lucky number because it's July
Mhm.
and it's my birthday month. So we're going to take 7th lucky person who got the right answer. To each of these questions, we'll do one first and we'll follow with the second one. And the winner is going to win consultation. How long is the consultation, Jen?
It's 30 minutes or however long we end up yapping,
Oh,
and
awesome.
it's all about you. I promise you, it has nothing to do with TPI. This is
Well, I
all
know
about you.
everybody that's here can hear how you just have all kinds of great, knowledge to share. So I'm sure that everybody finds great value in that. So question number one, folks, are you ready? Drum roll. What should we do when thinking about the future? And I'm watching you as you type them in, and I will pick number 7. Oh my goodness. Drink? Okay.
No, don't
Oh,
remind
that
me. I'm
was
ready for a
Sandy
glass of
Elson. Of
wine.
course, that was Sandy. She's messing with me.
Sandy.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, she was number 7, but that's not the correct answer. It might be, but it isn't. So I'm going to go with the next one, and that is Lena Matoro, who says, "Plan for the end result."
Yeah, begin with the end in mind. Very
Perfect.
good.
Yeah, a lot of people
Congratulations.
got that right. And Sandy says, "Darn." Okay, Sandy. All right. All right. So question number 2. Let me get rid of these answers real quickly so I have a clean slate. All right, ready. What was the name of the event that TPI just put on that inspired Jen for this webinar?
This is
It's a
a
good
toughie. You
one. No, this is
probably
good.
did not.
I heard it.
I know. I'm just wondering if they did. I just thought I'd put a really tough one in this time.
I haven't had any answers yet, so it might be too tough for us. Can I give them a hint?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Um, the word building is in it.
Ah, it's
That help anybody yet?
building your.
Your Okay, here they come. All right, it's starting to come. They're starting to come in. All right. Okay. Still watching. Some really good answers. They're not exactly the right one.
That's
So
okay.
I'm
This was a toughie.
waiting. Okay, I'm going to take this one. It isn't exactly the word, but it's the same thing.
Okay.
And that is Denise. Denise Payne, you win. It's called, she says building your future, but I know it's building your legacy, but it's the same. That's the
It's
same
the
word.
same
That's the
thing. It's
same
all
word,
good.
really.
That was
Okay.
a toughie, guys. That
Yeah.
was a tough one. I wanted to see. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with that one because I think that was number 7, and that seemed like the right answer. So, anyways, you are also going to win. So, congratulations, Denise. Well, everybody, this was so good today, and remember, it is recorded, so you guys can, as I mentioned, can all go back and listen to it again. Because I don't know about you, but there's a lot of information there. You might want to replay that and get more information. Jen, a lot of people are saying thank you here. So.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome, guys.
and I thank you, Jen, for another amazing event that you did. I can't wait till we do the next one. And everybody, thank you for being here today. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, huh? All
Yeah.
right.
Take care, rock stars.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.